Hi Leo, welcome to your love reading for this week. I hope you're doing well. So as always, this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave the rest. Okay, let's see what's coming through for Leo. So we have the Five of Swords, and then we have the Emperor, Three of Cups, Eight of Swords, Nine of Cups, Death, Five of Cups, Six of Wands, and Strength. Okay, I'm going to start off with couples, and then I will move on to those of you who are single. Okay, so the heart of the reading is the Nine of Cups. I feel like this week the focus is going to be on having it all, and Leo usually does not kind of settle for kind of mediocre things, average things. It's you basically like you want it all, or you probably don't want anything at all if you can't have what you want. And I feel like this week, when it comes to your love life, like you have your eye on something major. For those of you who are in a relationship, you're going to really do everything that you can to bring this relationship back into balance and to really have the relationship that you've always wanted to have with your partner. I feel like that will be your goal, and that is the energy that is around everyone. Okay, so let's start with the top row here. Five of Swords, the Emperor, and the Three of Cups. Okay, so this Five of Swords, it keeps popping up. And the Five of Swords, it can represent not so positive energy. And considering like what's going down this side of the reading, this is, a strong message. I kind of feel like for those of you who are in a relationship or married, that there's something that you have to let go of. I feel like there may have been conflict. It's the first card, and I said the same thing too. I think it was another sign who had this, was also their first card. I feel like you're coming into this week with a lot of like mental conflict, maybe something that happened, before. And I feel like you can't keep holding on to the same resentments or the same arguments. If, the Five of Swords is a message that if you keep following the same path, you're going to end up with nothing. You're going to end up with an empty victory. And like I said with the Nine of Cups, it's the heart of your reading. This week is all about having it all. It's all about making your wishes come true. It's all about happiness, and not just being somewhat happy. It is about being in a state of bliss. That is the energy of the Nine of Cups. So I feel like there's a path that couples have been following. I feel like some of this has to do with certain patterns in relationships that you can't keep following that same path. I feel like something has to change in relationships, or there will be a lot of grief, is what I'm getting. And then you have the Emperor, and this can even represent you, Leo, because you are a very kind of powerful sign. You are a very powerful sign. You're very kind, strong, authority figure, very self-confident. That is the energy of the Emperor. I almost kind of feel like you're the one that has to be the strong one, the positive one in your relationships this week. And the Emperor is all about, having, a firm foundation. It's all about feeling that your life is in your hands. And I feel like for this week, they're telling you that your love life is in your hands. So if you know that your relationship is kind of headed down the wrong path, I feel like for a lot of you, it's going to be up to you to do something about this. And notice what's going down here, this side of the reading, right down the center, the Emperor, the Nine of Cups, the Six of Wands. So this would be kind of taking control and doing whatever you have to do to fix a relationship, even if the other partner is not really kind of giving 100%, I feel like you can take the lead. You can heal this relationship. And you know, in the Nine of Cups, this is your wish. This is your happiness. This is, you know, your fulfilling relationship. This is your dream relationship. And this is victory. So I feel like the Emperor is pretty much telling you that you have to take control, especially those of you that you have some conflict that you have been dealing with, where you really kind of feel like the relationship is just kind of, I don't know, I feel like something has drastically changed, like the energy around the relationship has changed, or your partner in some way has changed, is what I'm getting. Like they're almost like they're not the same person that they were when you met them, or somehow like as a couple you've really kind of like changed, but not in a positive way. They're saying that this is the time to fix it. And then you have the Three of Cups. So, you know, this is a marriage card, but it's also a card of happiness and joy and celebration and laughter. So even though you have that, you know, not so positive message of the Five of Swords, they are telling you that if you take control, you know, that Emperor card, that you can heal this relationship or marriage. Your marriage can be what it used to be. You can have more joy, I said, more laughter. You can bring more fun into the relationship. It can be what it was, what it once was, or you can be what it can be what you want it to be. But I feel like this is all about you. Okay, so moving on to the middle row here, Eight of Swords, Nine of Cups, Death. I feel, you know, with the Eight of Swords there, I feel like somebody feels like trapped. I feel like somebody like you really love your partner. I feel like you really kind of love your partner and you want to be with them. You do not want to let them go. I feel like your wish here is that there would be some type of radical change in the relationship. Like you wish that things would go back to the way they used to be, or you wish that this harsh energy around your relationship, or maybe arguments or people interfering, you wish all of this would go away, but you feel powerless to change it. With the Eight of Swords, you feel pretty much immobilized. You feel blocked. You feel like, you know, there's something that you want to do, but you feel like you cannot do it. Something is literally preventing you from taking action or moving forward. But the Nine of Cups is telling you that you can have that. Because like I said, the Nine of Cups is all about happiness. It's all about your wishes being granted. This is the ultimate card of happiness, is the wish card. In the fairy godmother card, it's like your wishes are like magically granted. So I feel like for those of you that are struggling in your relationships or your marriages, you might kind of find that all of a sudden, you know, things that you have been dealing with seem to disappear into thin air. But you know, they are telling you that this has something to do with you kind of recognizing that maybe the relationship has not been on the right path for some time. I feel like acknowledging this and not kind of feeling that, well, you know, there is something wrong, but I can't do anything about it because maybe your partner doesn't want to see this or doesn't want to change. There's something that you can do to make this happen. And you can still have that happy relationship. But you have the Death card. So the Death card is telling you, yes, you know, the death of something. And it could be that it's finally the death of this feeling of being trapped in like a negative cycle in your relationship. The death may be of a lot of emotional distress. You do have the Five of Cups here, which I'm going to get to in a minute, but the Death card also represents like a huge transition happening in your life. Sometimes it can represent marriage, and I do notice that here it's lined up with a marriage card. So for those of you that are like single, not single, but you're dating, I feel like if you can heal some of these things going on in your relationship, the major life transition here can be marriage. But they're telling you that, you know, there's a huge change coming in your relationship. And I feel like they want me to say that for those of you that are willing to take control, like I said, the Emperor card, take control of the situation or the relationship. Don't let it keep going down the wrong path. Don't just kind of blindly agree to whatever is going on. You are not powerless. There is something that you can do to bring this relationship back into balance and to have the happiness that you've always wanted. Maybe the happiness that you once had when you first met your partner. Moving on to this row here, Five of Cups, Six of Wands, strength. You know, so the Five of Cups says that someone is just like really kind of disappointed, bummed out. You may be disappointed that things are not going the way that you want them to. With the Five of Cups, sometimes something has been lost, and it could be that what has been lost is that spark in the relationship. Notice what's going on here. You know, this is disappointment and a loss of something, and just kind of really dwelling on what is no longer there and being unable to like let it go. And here is happiness, and here is marriage. So it could be that what you're mourning is, you know, where did the fun or the love or the happiness in my relationship go? Where did it go? And the Emperor is saying you can take that back again, but you have to feel that you are in control. This is not being in control. This is just kind of saying, well, things are the way they are, and I can't really do anything about it. If you do that, like I said, look at this row here, headed down the wrong path, being blocked. And just kind of dwelling on what was lost. But you have some very encouraging cards here. The Six of Wands, this is the victory card. So I feel like even though you may be sad and disappointed that there are some issues going on in your relationship, and if there weren't any issues, you probably would not be watching this reading. So I feel like those issues that you've been dealing with, they can be healed. Sometimes they can't. Sometimes they can't. And I literally like do say in a reading that I feel like some people will be moving on to another relationship, but I honestly like I don't really get that feeling from this reading. I feel like relationships can be healed. Like you will succeed in being happy again and having your wish, unless your wish is to have another partner and to like, you know, get out of an unhealthy relationship, then your wish will be granted. But if your wish is to keep your partner, then that is what you get. And then you have the Strength card. So this is spiritual strength. This means that you cannot give up. This means that you have to be the strong one, which is what I was saying with the Emperor. It means that you really have to hang in there. You have to be very patient is a key word. That's what I'm getting. You have to be very patient with your partner. I feel like for some of you, like you are the stronger one. You are the more spiritual one. I also feel like, you know, your ego is really going to be working over time. Like I said, what's going on here. And strength, and saying strength, the Strength card is telling you you have to be living from your higher self. You have to be relying on your spiritual strength Otherwise, you know, the energies that are around you, the issues going on with your relationship, they would kind of suck you in. But I feel like you are much too strong to let that happen. Let me see if anything else jumps out at me so I can move on to those of you who are single here. Like I said, the Five of Swords, this is just kind of like, you know, like just headed down the wrong path. And just kind of seeing that there's some things going on in this relationship that I don't like, you know, that are not so positive. And I feel like it's going to take a lot of patience, like I said, to heal this, to maybe bring this up to your partner. I feel like for some of you, like this lion in the card, it may not be you, although Leo, you are obviously, you are the lion, but it may be your partner. It may be your ego's partner, I'm sorry, your partner's ego that is scary. It's scary, but I feel like this is nothing that you cannot overcome because you have the Nine of Cups right here in the middle. So I feel like kind of bringing up something that maybe that has to be changed in the relationship. There is like a strong message of something has to change because what's going on here just keeps getting my attention. Something not so positive, and someone is just disappointed. Someone is just really like emotionally distressed. Someone feels absolutely just blocked, like there's nothing I can do. You know, I don't like the way this relationship is, what it's turning into. I don't really like the turn it's taking. But you are not powerless to change this. Okay, so let me go ahead and move on to singles. Okay, for those of you who are single, again, the heart of your reading is the Nine of Cups. So I feel, you know, like I said at the beginning of the reading, you will have your eyes on the prize this week. You are not a sign that usually likes to settle for second best or just average things. I even kind of feel like some of you will be raising your standards. You know what you want and you're not going to settle. But I also feel like you really will be focusing on having a good time. So it's not like you're going to be looking for a partner and not being happy. I feel like there's going to be a lot of happiness and celebration in the midst of all this. I feel like there could be someone that comes in for you still. You know, let's start here, Five of Swords. I feel like, you know, the focus for you is on, you know, happiness and, you know, raising your standards and finding someone that really pleases you, someone that really kind of fits into your ideal of what you want in a romantic partner. I did get that message that you're raising your standards, and Leos usually have pretty high standards. And I don't know, I kind of feel that, especially with the Five of Swords, I'm just kind of getting the message that for some of you, I'm not saying to completely lower your standards, but I feel like kind of be realistic, especially if you've been single for a long time and you meet someone and you're just kind of like, well, you know, this person is pretty darn perfect, but I want more. I feel like those of you that are kind of like doing that, that has to change. I feel like your standards may be too high. Again, I'm not saying to lower your standards, but I feel like something in your pursuit of romance has not been working for you. And again, you have to kind of work with that, change that. I also feel, because it's a suit of air, that perhaps when you're looking for a romantic partner that you're being more mental. You're kind of focusing on how does this person fit into my life and what I want my life to be. How does this person fit into what I want in a partner? And I feel like they want you following your heart more. I mean, Leos usually are very open-hearted. You have a big heart, and so they want you to follow that. Don't kind of pursue romance in a more mental way, because I feel like that is not going to work for you. And then you have the Emperor. And they're saying that you have the power to do this. I feel like this is taking control of your love life. I don't know. I even kind of get the message for those of you who are single. I feel like somebody has been like helping you, like setting you up maybe on blind dates. Like, this is not the right path for you. you have to be the one kind of looking for the partner. I mean, obviously your dream partner is right here, but I kind of feel like letting somebody else set you up on blind dates, or, saying, I work with someone who's just perfect for you. I know someone who's just perfect for you. Like, this is not gonna lead to happiness. I also feel like you have to be more hands-on when it comes to finding the right partner for you. I even kind of get the message that you also have to have more control, not just of your love life, but I feel like something may be going on in your personal life where you just generally, you have to kind of take control of your entire life in order for things to work out for you romantically. And you do have the Three of Cups here. And this is a marriage card. So I feel like there is someone who will be around you this week who is marriage material. This is someone that can make you very, very happy. Look at what's going on here. This is happiness and joy and marriage and children. Of course, this is your wish is being granted. This is happiness, and this is not being happy. So I feel like you're just kind of disappointed because you have a lot to give. You have a lot of love to give, but you may be disappointed that you're not finding that person. And I feel like you need to be the one kind of looking for that partner. But also I feel like there's something kind of going on in your personal life that you have to take control of. But there is someone around you this week that is marriage material. Moving on to this row here, the Eight of Swords, the Nine of Cups, Death. So yeah, just like I told the couples, the Eight of Swords, you may kind of feel like, well, I'm trying, I'm trying to meet somebody new. I'm trying to find, maybe even your life partner. I'm trying to find love, but I'm just not finding them. And the Eight of Swords is here and the Five of Cups is here. And I feel like some of you may feel really disappointed, like, where is my partner? If I'm looking, why am I not finding them? Of course, the Five of Swords here is kind of telling you that maybe you're looking in the wrong place. Some of you may actually be looking in the wrong place. Like I said, I kind of got the message that some of you are being set up by other people, blind dates, people that are associated with somebody that you know, and it should be you, because I feel like your intuition is strong and you can find the perfect partner for you. Maybe the people around you have the best of intentions, but their intuition may not be as strong as yours. We are meant to find our own partners. And I feel like some of you are really disappointed about this not happening, but then you kind of feel blocked. You feel like, well, I'm trying, but nothing is happening. And then you have the Nine of Cups here. So, this is kind of telling you that you're not blocked, that your happiness is closer than you think, and that you can have it all. You can literally have your dream relationship. I did say, I feel like some of you, maybe not everyone, you need to kind of lower your standards. If you're kind of nitpicking and saying, well, I don't like this person because I don't like the way they constantly toss their hair, or they have an annoying laugh. I mean, kind of be cautious of like the things that push you away from partners, and make sure that they're actual like red flags. Obviously you do want to be cautious, but I feel like there's going to be a major transition. The Death card, this is always something big happening in your life, and sometimes it does mean the death of something. It could be the death of a feeling kind of blocked and just kind of like completely powerless when it comes to your love life. That definitely has to come to an end. But this is a huge thing kind of happening in your life, and I feel like it could be marriage, or it could be, finally you're in a committed relationship. Finally you are in the relationship that you've always wanted, because it's next to the Nine of Cups, your dream partner. Moving on to this row here, Five of Cups, Six of Wands, Strength. It's like I said, the Five of Cups, emotionally things have not been easy for you. I feel like for some of you, you may even kind of be looking at past relationships and just kind of feeling like you're feeling disappointed. I feel like I thought this was a perfect partner for me. Why did it not work out? I even kind of feel like let me rephrase it. I feel like some of you that are looking for the same type of partner, that could be, what the Five of Swords is trying to tell you, that was just generally not the right type of person for you. Even though there is, sadness here and disappointment, or things not going the way that you wanted to in your love life, you do have the Six of Wands, which is telling you that you will overcome this. You will overcome this. But again, you have to be very strong. This is a card of spiritual strength. This means you have to be very patient, and I feel like you have to be patient with yourself. Don't be so quick to give up is also a message that I'm getting. I also feel like this is about like negative self-talk. Because I mean, there are a lot of intense things going on right here, and I feel like for some of you, you may be in a place where you're just kind of like I don't even want to talk about that anymore. But this reading is basically telling you that you know your dream partner, your dream relationship is right here. And like I said, there is even kind of marriage in the cards this week. But I feel like there is some adjusting to do. Yeah, I was just kind of looking at this here, just these two cards, and I feel like, you know, like I said, the death card is going to be like a big change that is a possibility. Nothing is written in stone, but I feel like there is like a strong possibility of like either a marriage or like a living relationship, a committed relationship. But you have to kind of be strong. And I feel like for some of you, like this is kind of like forgetting the past, readjusting like who you were looking for, maybe even adjusting what's going on inside of you, letting go of past hurts, relationships that do not work out. Like I said, making sure that you are taking control of your love life. All right, Leo, I will this reading here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you again. Much love and bless. Bye-bye.